things are really starting to heat up within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. Is it still a buyer's market? We're going to dive into that within this episode for sure. And what about the primary market? What about the low stock warning next for Star Wars? What about next wait lists? Can we look at that current Neo from Hot Toys from the latest Matrix movie, which has a low stock warning, and connect the dots? And what about Princess Leia? You know, from Return of the Jedi, during the scenes, the segment, when she was Jabba's prisoner? Is it completely out of the realm of all possibilities that this could never happen from Hot Toys for Star Wars? I've got special coffee brewed right from the Hot Toys Wizard. Let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now. All right, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina, soon to be Aries Cantina. Please go ahead and smash that like button. I so very much appreciate your support. And while you're at it, baby, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you so very much for your support. So let's go ahead and dive into all of these juicy topics that make our mouth water with excitement and wonder with coffee. And cheers to you wherever you are watching this across the galaxy. And as we get right into it, one particular figure right here, this Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, look at that. Right here from A New Hope is absolutely heating up right now within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. As a matter of fact, all of the Star Wars Hot Toys within the secondary market right now are really starting to heat up. And I think that it's a very interesting sign for this upcoming holiday season. And certainly as we march into the season of Disney Plus, particularly the season of Disney Plus, which is the Mandalorian season 3 in February, I think the secondary market is going to maybe reach places it has never reached before. So let's go ahead without further ado and dive right into it and go to 6 Scale Cantina as we usually always do with every episode of the Market Value Chart Show. And if you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmarked, you just may want to consider doing so. It has all the latest information on everything Star Wars Hot Toys. Everything secondary market. You got the market value chart. You got the biggest movers section. All the figures prices that are trending up. All the numbers trending down. If they're steady, whatever the values are. And all the latest news on anything breaking for Hot Toys for Star Wars. Your one-stop shop. And of course, all the news for right here at 6 Scale Cantina, Aries Cantina. Are you kidding me? And if you go to the website and take a look right now, you can see the latest banner from the latest show Just back from last week on Monday, 6 scale Raw. If you did not watch 6 scale Raw, there's the banner right there. You can go right to the channel here and click on that video, or go right to this website and click on it. It'll take you right to it. But what a panel we had in the house indeed. Great having my friends in there. And I counted down the 10 most, my 10 most wanted Star Wars Hot Toys. Some of you were blown away by what made it on my list. What a fun time we had. Absolutely classic. Go check it out if you haven't already, for sure. But let's go to the biggest mover section, which is updated right now at 6scalecantina.com, and that's the second menu item under my logo. And let's actually see what is going on. And there's some differences here, but let's pull it up onto the screen and take a look at right under me. So you've got Leia and sandwiching in between there, Han Solo. Leia New Hope, up. Han Solo Trooper this week, up. Leia Hoth, trending up. Wow. Let's continue to go down this list and take a look. There's your Boba Fett arena suit. We're going to dive into that. Tarkin and Vader, no surprise. Vader 40th is continuing on that downtrend. Boba Fett 40th continuing on that downtrend. Boba Fett Return of the Jedi with the Sarlacc pit on the downtrend. We're going to dive into those as well. Leia and Wicket on the uptrend. Emperor on the uptrend. Obi-Wan, any Obi-Wan on the uptrend, like the one I just showed you here. Luke Trooper on the downtrend. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. And actually, let's go ahead and start always with everybody's favorite, at least 4 right now, with that arena suit Boba Fett. And let me bring up some of the latest data that I have on this figure. And you could look right here. Just back from November 12th. And look at that on your screen right below my face here. $475. Let's go click on it on the actual listing and look at that information, even just a little bit bigger than it is here. And again, back from November 12th, not including the $30 in shipping. So that's $505 right there. $505 right there. Outstanding seller, 60 feedback, all 100% positive, and 22 bids. Gosh, my goodness gracious. And this figure continues to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And it's kind of in correlation with the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys, which is also getting hotter and hotter. This figure I was showing you last week, and I think it breached, what was it, $435, $440. Let's go ahead and actually go to the market value chart, which has also been updated, as it is mostly every week. And go to the market value chart here for Star Wars at 6scalecantina.com, which is your third menu item. And we'll go ahead and just type in Arena in that little search box, that little white search box up at the top. You can always do that on your own. And then everything Arena should come up. And then let me go ahead and put this under my picture so you can see it pretty clearly. And as you can see, CMS 011. And here is some breaking news. It has now hit the $450 tier range. There it is, folks. Mid 400s, it has hit and rising. Wow. Let's pause. Cheers to you. Have some coffee. And again, I don't think we have to wonder if this is going to break the $500 tier range. But you do have to wonder, is it possible that this would actually break the $600 tier range? And as I've been saying Yes. I think that this is rarer than the animated Boba Fett. They certainly produced far more of those than this arena suit Boba Fett. We will continue to keep an eye on this particular figure for sure. But here's a very, very interesting thing. When you're taking a look at this arena suit Boba Fett, if you want to kind of project forward, if they continue to have low production runs, whether it's exclusive or not, and I don't think it makes a darn bit of difference whether it's exclusive or not during this horrible economy. Whether it's exclusive or not, if it's going to be a character like that and it's going to be sought after enough like that, if they're only going to make, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 pieces of a particular figure, if it's a character and a variation of that character that is desired, it can instantly become a grail within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys, for any Hot Toys, if it's desired. And again, low supply equals high demand. Abundant supply, after a while, equals no demand. Easily obtainable. Low supply, high demand. Everybody wants what they can't get. And when it seems like that they can get it, and they can get it with coupons, and they can get it with discounts, and we can have cheers all year, and for a couple of years, the bargain bin, this figure's in the bargain bin, that figure's in the bargain bin, that 2-pack's in the bargain bin, that 2-pack's low, it's spectacular, that figure's low, this figure's going to be low, you never have to buy it, who cares about buying it, wait till it's $50. And when you're seeing stuff like this arena suit, not only am I noticing it, not only are you noticing it, but is it possible that Hot Toys is noticing it? Yes. Companies like Sideshow are noticing it? Yes. I'll be honest with you right now. And I've been talking about the last couple of shows. I don't care what character it is. It can be this one right here. It can be this one right here. And really, with this figure right here, if this figure came out again, is it better to have 10,000 of these or 5,000 of these sitting in stock extra after all the pre-orders are filled and after all the pre-orders for official retailers are also filled? Or is it better, or are you going to make more money by a different variation of this, like a Force Ghost Ben, at 5,000 extra pre-orders? And the answer is 5,000 extra pre-orders of a Force Ghost Ben, without a doubt. That is why I've been telling you, mostly ever since I started this channel, what you're going to be seeing with the way the economy is going is more and more announcements with less production in each one of these announcements. The more announcements because they have to find a way to make money because the purchase orders are way down because these companies aren't buying as many as they were. Because people aren't buying as many as they were. In the secondary market, in the primary market, in any market. They just are not. If they're not buying it, then these companies that are selling it to them aren't just going to keep buying it to sit on it. They're going to stop buying it. So what does Hot Toys do? Hot Toys starts coming out with different variations. 2.0s, 3.0s. Creative ways. And it's not a new thing for them. And it's not a new thing for any of these companies. All you got to do is look at what you do with Troopers. And even in good economies, they do that with Troopers. People buy Troopers out the wazoo. And really, with how much more established in Hot Toys realm Marvel was, everybody was doing that with Marvel with so many different variations. Star Wars starting to kick into high gear for Hot Toys. Why not do this with Star Wars? Especially since right now Star Wars is a very hot hand in the world. And make no mistake about it. Star Wars was definitely very, very weak, even since The Force Awakens, in Asia. Weak. Weak in that part of the world. But thanks to Grogu and The Mandalorian, especially Grogu, becoming much, much stronger in that part of the world. And you have to wonder, what about when episode 3 comes? Season 3. Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And if that can actually surpass season 2 of The Mandalorian, or the last 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, or season 1 of The Mandalorian, can you even imagine? Sky's the limit when it comes to Star Wars. Who knows what Favreau and Filoni and Disney have in store for us with season 3? Is it possible that they may outdo themselves than what they did with season 2? We'll have to keep an eye on it, but I'm certainly very, very optimistic indeed. And while the secondary market is starting to heat up, it's still not a seller's market. It's a buyer's market. But it's a little bit in between. But it's starting to lean a little bit into the seller's market realm. As we inch towards The Mandalorian Season 3 and the Ahsoka series, forget about it, you're going to see that trend increase. But with figures where there is an abundant amount of, it's going to be a buyer's market within the secondary market and also the primary market. Make no mistake about it. You're seeing a lot of these low stock warnings. For instance, on Sideshow, when it comes to Hot Toys, whether it's Marvel, whether, Star Wars, whatever. And really, with the figures that were officially announced in 2021, I personally don't think it's very likely that those figures, when they finally get officially announced, officially released, The Mandalorian Luke Skywalker, The Mandalorian Pedro Pascal head sculpt, Mandalorian, for instance, talking Star Wars, The Hunter from The Bad Batch, those type of figures released, announced in 2021. I think that they're on that same bucket of the other figures that are still in stock. I believe that a ton were ordered in first initial purchase orders. And I don't really believe that can be retracted. There are ways in manufacturing and in production that can be altered depending on what the production schedule is with said manufacturer, with said company, and of course contractually with said distributor. There are ways, so that's why I'm saying not likely. It is possible. But the track record with a lot of those figures, like the Tusken Raider, like the Lando Calrissian, like the Captain Rex, like the Armorer. Need I go on and on and on? They're still in stock. But, so those are going to be hard to get rid of without some super, super deals. And everybody knows that there's going to be a lot of those. But with figures that were announced in 2022, you're starting to see a lot of these low stock warning signs being issued right away. Right away. And when you go ahead and take a look at figures like this one, not even Star Wars, but pull this up onto the screen. Here is Neo, and this is from the latest Matrix movie, which for whatever reason did not do very, very well within the box office, and it wasn't received greatly as a whole. But a Neo Keanu Reeves figure nonetheless, not due to come out until the second quarter of next year and second quarter through the fourth quarter of next year. And already a low stock warning on the main character of that show, Neo. And even though this has nice fresh head sculpt, looks like a really, really nice figure in my opinion, they're just not making very, very many of this particular figure. You could go ahead and take a look at other figures and perhaps characters that aren't so popular for whatever reason, like this third sister character, who's already near the very, very bottom when you sort it out best-selling wise on Sideshow, and really just really recently came out. And this is an absolutely, I believe, fantastic figure, fantastic character, and I really enjoyed her. But like that Neo, this will 100%, in my view, real quick, fast, and in a hurry, get a low stock warning. But is it limited to just characters like that Neo where the movie wasn't very popular? Like this character where for whatever reason not selling very, very, very hot? And I don't think so. Because you can go ahead and take a look at whether it's Cobb Vanthir or whether it's Cad Bane, pulling that up on the screen, or even a character like this awesome DX28, and this is the deluxe Darth Vader, which is absolutely just unbelievable. And I can't wait to get this deluxe version and pose this Vader. I think I need to get two of them, baby, so I can have one with the Hayden Christensen head sculpt and one like this, because certainly it's a brand new body. From looking at all these photos and the way that they pose these in the various myriad of prototype photos, and I've talked about it, this looks like a body like Hayden Christensen that's very athletic and very posable. And I can't wait. But this figure's not immune to this. It's not. Really, any of the ones. You could look at this banner over here, whether it's Obi-Wan or Darth Vader. It's not just the Neo, because the movie didn't go over really well. It's not just the Green Goblin with the glider with the mask that also has a low stock warning right now. It's not just because of the glider. The glider, the blurg, whatever. Remember, the blurg came out May 4th, not of this year, but of 2021. Remember that. Remember that fiasco, where Sideshow took all the glory coming out with the Grievous. Any of the figures that were officially announced in 2021, I think, for the most part, there could be a couple of anomalies, so just saying, because there always is. For the most part, there's probably going to be a lot of them. Unless there are, again, times in manufacturing and in business where you can negotiate that out, because some of these are still not out yet. It all depends on production schedule. It all depends contractually. It all depends what can be worked out. So I can't guarantee you there's going to be 8 million deepfake Lukes. Because if they were able to work something out with that, who knows? But any of these figures from 2022, it doesn't matter if it's Vader, it doesn't matter if it's Obi-Wan, it doesn't matter if it's Neo, the KX Enforcer droid, Boba Fett, the quarter scale one is gone, the Peacemaker, the Green Goblin, Kate Bishop, the Third Sister, the Grand Inquisitor. The Third Sister is going to go. Oh, but the Grand Inquisitor is far more popular. I don't think so. He's going to go too. So's the other two they're going to officially announce. The Fourth Sister and the Fifth Brother. Gone and gone. They're not going to get in stock. Kegs and Forcer Droid's not going to get in stock. Well, surely the DX-28 is going to get in stock. No. No. They're telling Hot Toys, look, we don't want any in stock. Give me Vader on his chair, with his throne, if you will, with an Emperor hologram from the Obi-Wan series, with the full head sculpt of Hayden Christensen. We'll take that. We'd rather take 5,000 pre-orders of that than bank on sitting on 5,000 extra DX-28s after all the pre-orders are exhausted. And no one wants to pre-order it anymore. And no one other retailers want to buy off of, like, for instance, like Sideshow anymore. They don't want another 5,000 on top of that in an economy where nobody's buying. They're not. So give them a different Darth Vader. And that's why I was telling you that you may get 2 or 3 versions of Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan series. That's why I was telling you, you may get 2 or 3 versions of Obi-Wan from that series. It's very, very probable. You could use that same head sculpt, that same design basically, and give you the costume from the first few episodes. They could basically do that and give you the costume from the last episode. But even if nobody really wants, well, I have this one, I don't want that one, but they could still sell it to 3,000 or 4,000 collectors will buy it. Not everybody wants the Arena Suit Boba Fett too. Make no mistake about it. It's hot in the secondary market, but not everybody wants it. Like the Durasteel Mandalorian. More people want that than the Arena Suit Boba Fett. They just didn't make as many of the Arena Suit Boba Fett as the Durasteel Mandalorian, which is why it's more expensive. Because when you only make 3,000 of them compared to 63,000 of them, it's a big difference. Even if that rendition of a character, variation of that character, is more popular. Supply and demand, folks. Supply and demand, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're looking at here. This is what businesses have to look at within this economy. How do we make money when nobody's buying? How do we make money in an industry like this, selling these type of commodities, which are things that mostly people buy, collectors buy, that is expendable income, where there's not a whole lot of expendable income for something as cool as this right now? How do you get them to buy it? Because they're not even buying it at the retail price. I showed you this last week. I'm going to show you more this week. They're not. Which is further evidence that you could bet your bottom dollar that production, I don't care if it's the most popular character in the history of film, they just won't produce that many of them right now. They'll give you the Break from Action, Take 2 version of that character, 2,000 extra pre-orders, then print 2,000 extra. I don't care how popular it is. They just won't do it because no one's buying it. Let me give you some evidence of this. Let's go to the secondary market. Let me go to some stuff here. People really want these Hot Toys. Don't think for 1 second, oh, nobody wants to buy the Mandalorian and the Blurg. Really? Yeah, they do. They just don't want to buy it for the retail price because the economy sucks right now. You can look right in the secondary market. You can see right here. In this horrible economy, back from November 11th, $455 for Mandalorian and the Blurg. With a bunch of bids. Not including the $30 in shipping. Great seller. Oh, 100% positive. Let's go to another Mando and the Blurg. Look, with 1 day and 2 hours left, $335. Not including the near $30 in shipping for the Mando and the Blurg. What's going on here is people want these figures, but they're hoping to get these at a much lower price than what you could find at some of these retailers right now, because there's just not a whole lot of money to go around. And it's not just these figures. I don't care what figure it is. It could be something as that's been out for a while, like this Tusken Raider, which already has over 20 darn bids. People want it. It's like, oh, people don't want the Tusken Raider. No, they want it. They just don't want to pay the price for the Tusken Raider. And I'm seeing this with auction after auction after auction after auction with a bunch of watchers within the secondary market when it comes to Star Wars Hot Toys. People want the Death Watch Mandalorian. People want the Lando Calrissian. People want the Tusken Raider, the Blurg, the Mandalorian with the Blurg, Captain Rex. They just want it cheaper for what some of these retailers have it up for. They're looking for it. It's not that they're out of it. It's that they're like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm not buying it no more. There's just not enough moolah to go around. And that's why you're seeing so many discounts on some of these retailers to get rid of some of these Hot Toys. It certainly has nothing to do with the interest of the IP or any of the IPs. Has to do with the lack of funds. Has to do with the economy. Has to do with expendable income. What do you think? Hot Toys is going to keep manufacturing figures? And Sideshow's going to keep committing to purchasing these figures to distribute them and make money off them if no one's buying them right now? What do? You order less. Even Darth Vader? Even Darth, greatest character of all time? Even Jedi, wonderful? Even Captain Fantastic, greatness of everything? Because unless Captain Fantastic, greatness of everything is going to give me and you extra money, you're just not going to be able to buy it. And sometimes in a bad economy, people still find a way to get what they want. But a lot of times you got to do that with a little extra nudge, a little extra effort. Remember, low supply not only takes care of not being able to sell a whole lot in an economy where there's not a whole lot of money to go around, but low supply also takes care of a thing called no demand. Low supply equates to higher demand. Collectors, people, human nature to want what they can't have. Something becomes desirable. It's like, darn, I really wanted that figure. Oh, I know I can wait for it to get a discount code. I better do that right now. I'm being frugal. When you don't think you have that opportunity and your mouth starts watering because of a particular figure, sometimes you'll be able to maneuver something here, take something from here, rob Peter to pay Paul, rob Paul to pay Peter, rob Luke to pay Vader, rob Vader to pay Luke, whatever way you want to call it. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. And you find a way. And then you create more heat for a particular collectible, like a Hot Toy, even in a bad economy. Then you create more excitement for the brand, even in a rough economy. And even in a rough economy, even when we have had rough times, we've had rough times with COVID, people have found different ways to operate because of COVID. And even when COVID is long, long gone, is everybody going to go back to work exactly the same exact way? I don't think so. There's always going to be more options of being able to work remotely now because people discovered a new way of functioning. People discovered a new way to not be stuck in traffic, to not burn as much gas, to not waste 4 or 5 hours a day commuting. It just was discovered. Wasn't discovered before. And you have to wonder, are companies like Hot Toys discovering new ways to be able to promote their business, to promote their action figures, to advertise their products by creating demand for their products, by coming up with new innovative ways, and sometimes it's the old way, to be able to generate excitement and demand. And I say, yes. Look, with these low stock warnings and wait lists for figures that aren't due out for months and months and months and months, it does generate some excitement. It generates some conversation. You get channels like me talking about it. You get so many channels talking about it. That's advertising for Hot Toys. That's promotion for this hobby. That's attention to this hobby. Personally, I think companies like Sideshow will probably make more money if Hot Toys would go ahead and put out more pre-orders. Like I said before, rather than sitting on 10,000 extra pieces just sitting in stock after pre-orders are exhausted, would you rather another pre-order to sell another 5 or 10,000? Yes. Maybe Hot Toys looking at that too, going, ooh, yeah, different variations. Let me go ahead and make Force Ghost Obi-Wan. Let me go ahead and make behind-the-scenes version of Alec Guinness, Smiling with George Lucas version number 2. Surely there's some footage there. Holiday special Obi-Wan or something. I don't remember if he was in a holiday special or not, but you know what I'm saying. One plus one equals 2. Businesses find a way. People find a way. And right now, this is the way. Things are also starting to heat up with certain characters. Very, very interestingly, I can't say enough about Leia. I mean, whether it's eBay, whether it's Macari, I mean, here's one. And this one's from Hawk Wars Toys. And Hawk Wars Toys, whether eBay, Macari, fantastic seller. And just from a few days ago, Leia, Princess Leia, A New Hope, $625. Wow. $625 for a Princess Leia. Absolutely unbelievable. Again, a seller like Hawk Wars, Ray at Hawk Wars, that's his name, puts in a myriad of pictures of the actual product, does a great job on these pictures and whatnot. Absolutely unbelievable. But and again, I personally brought my A New Hope Leia from Ray at Hawk Wars, gosh, last year sometime. But no matter what type of economy, some characters like this, again, not a whole lot of these to go around these days. People find a way. People find a way. And if it's not this Leia, it can be any Leia. And let me bring this one up onto the screen. And this is Leia Hoth. And this is also from Hawk Wars Toys. $550, so probably around $530 for eBay with this one. $525, $530, not including the $24.11 in shipping. And look at the feedback on eBay anyway. $1,364 for Hawk Wars Toys. All 100% positive. And I don't got this. I should... Ray, I'm looking for a Hoth Leia. What could you do for me, baby? What could you do for me? Man, Yeah, this figure is just... I got to get this one. I do think, honestly, though, we're going to get the Bespin Escape Leia, which is going to be the Bespin and his Hoth Leia kit bashed into one. I do really believe that they're going to make that. But Leia's hot, and Leia is on freaking fire. And again, Hawk Wars Toys sells a lot of these when they buy a collection. And here's another one. And you could look at this Stormtrooper Han Solo, which is rising again within the secondary market. $715 just also from this week. Hawk Wars Toys, absolutely unbelievable. And wow. Always a big shout out to Ray at Hawk Wars. Great seller. But when you look at these type of figures like this, Leia's, Han's, Obi-Wan from A New Hope, any of those, very hot. And I'm actually starting to see, with a lot of these figures right now, a little bit of a uptick from a lot of the very low sales right now within the secondary market that I've been noticing over the last month and a half, couple of months, for sure. I'm seeing a little bit of a turn. And I'm not surprised, because I projected that as we marched into the holiday season, and certainly as we march into the Mandalorian Season 3. But even when you bring up, and this figure has been trending down, it's still trending down, but it's going to level off and it will trend up. But even when you bring up figures like the Empire Strikes Back 40th Anniversary Fets, the Empire Strikes Back 40th Anniversary Vader, make no mistake about it, does the Dark Jedi believe that these figures are grails? And I say yes, and I'm speaking that into existence, because that's really what I believe that they're going to be in the future. They're never going to get reissued again in the 40th Anniversary packaging for the Empire Strikes Back. And as this economy heals, it eventually will, and as time goes on, and as Disney and Star Wars continue to march on for years and years and years, and as more collectors discover Hot Toys and more collectors come into Star Wars Hot Toys, these will 1000% be very highly sought after. And while they may reissue Darth Vader from Empire Strikes Back again, they'll never reissue 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back again. Sure, you may get a 45th anniversary. You're certainly going to get a 50th anniversary, but you're never going to get the 40th anniversary again. But you can see here, and actually starting to rise up a little bit now, and I'm noticing this with a lot of figures. So you're saying, hey, Aaron's like, yeah, we'll see this in the low 300s, but now I'm starting to see it, hey, there's $330. And I've been taking a look at here the last couple of weeks. I'm like, okay, here we go. Starting to, and this is used. This is not even new. But, you know, you start to see this with a lot of figures starting to get a little bit of an uptick right now. So, again, you could still get some deals. When you go to 6scalecantina.com and you go to the biggest mover section, you'll see that it's still a little bit of a hodgepodge. Figures trending up, figures trending down. Remember, I reported last week that the Luke Stormtrooper was trending down, but yet you're seeing that the Han Stormtrooper is trending up. But right now, you're just seeing a little bit of some deals on the Luke Stormtrooper. But make no mistake about it, this will turn around real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Same thing with that Boba Fett with the Sarlacc pick. Same thing with Boba Fett the 40th. Same thing with some of these as you look through here. But right now, I believe that right now, in this economy, it is the perfect time to hunt. If there's a particular Star Wars hot toy that's a grail for you, or a particular Star Wars hot toy that you have not had the opportunity to have, is too expensive, exercise some patience right now. Exercise some patience and go on the hunt. You know the regular tricks to do. Sometimes sellers list things they're going to end in the middle of the night. It's a mistake. Sometimes they list auctions that are going to end right around quitting time, whether it's 5 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific time or something like that. Sometimes people are rushing out and they forget it or they're too busy. You got to end these at the right time. You got to start these auctions at the right time. Keep your eye out. Keep your eye out. I do got to caution you though. Keep your eye out for figures that aren't mint. Keep your eye out for feedback that is zero. If it's too good to be true, 9 times out of 10 it usually is. And is it worth the aggravation to save 40, 50, even $75? And I say no. That's why I recommend go with the seller you like a Hawk Wars Toys. Like any of the... Why not? You know you have your figure guaranteed. You know what you're going to get. And you know if you got a problem, you're covered. Sometimes you can get super deals though. So I'm just saying. But always look at those deals with caution. Always. But right now, it's still a buyer's market. But whether it becomes a seller's market more towards the holidays, I think it will be, as my opinion. It certainly will be during The Mandalorian Season 3. So right now, if you're feeling a little froggy, and you're looking to get a couple of figures, to me, this is the right time. First half of next year, and then you got the Ahsoka series rolling right after The Mandalorian Season 3. I don't think that's a good time. Unless you feel like waiting to 2023 in the fall, a year from now, to start buying more figures. And who knows what the economy will look like then. All right. So, let's go into the third and final segment of this particular show. And this is going to be fun. So I know, baby. There's no chance, right? No chance in the world. They're just not going to do this. We already know all the reasons why they wouldn't do this. So let's not talk about that, because we could exhaust that. Let me talk to you about the things that are a reality, though, okay? I can buy into the fact that right now it's really not feasible to get a Cara Dune figure with the controversy of Gina Carano. I get that. There's no controversy with Carrie Fisher. That's number one, okay? Number two, Disney has not, and I repeat, has not, deleted this footage from The Return of the Jedi, nor has any plans or announced any plans to do so. As a matter of fact, and I'll give a shout out to Victoria from Victoria's Cantina. Go ahead and make sure you subscribe to Victoria's Cantina. She's a friend of mine, and she has a great channel, talks a lot about hot toys, also talks about the Black Series and Star Wars stuff. But she pointed out she actually interviewed Hasbro, and they specifically said Disney has there's no problem, there's no ban for them on this Leia. So you have to wonder, what's really the problem here? And the problem is Slave Leia. It's that verbiage that we're using. There's no problem with a woman wearing a bikini. There's no problem with Carrie Fisher adorning this outfit. And mind you, in this outfit, she choked the heck out of Jabba the Great Hutt. And he's dead. So she was a hero in that. I don't think the problem was Carrie Fisher decided to wear like a swimsuit. There's no problem in that. Disney don't have a problem with that. Star Wars don't have a problem with that. So if you call her Jabba's prisoner, why would there be a problem? And I understand. You're going to tell me Howard Chan or whoever, they haven't made women naked. Well, first of all, she's not naked, okay? Number one. Honestly, she's just as naked as Cable. Okay, that's a bunch of nonsense. Okay, she's not naked. She has a swimsuit on. Don't call her Slave Leia. Call her Jabba's prisoner Leia, or whatever, prisoner Leia, whatever way you want to call her. If Disney's not deleting her from the Return of the Jedi footage, and you got a 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi coming next year, why couldn't you do this? Because Hot Toys is afraid to make a belly button on a female character? And I say no. And they're a business. Businesses are here to make money. And this is one of the most pivotal scenes in all of Star Wars. As a matter of fact, it had everything to do with setting the table for everything that happened right here in Return of the Jedi. All those great moments in Return of the Jedi. Shoot, the whole first third of the movie was with this. Now, would this be a first time for Hot Toys? Sure. Would they be bashful to go ahead and do artwork for this figure? I hope not. It's a character in a movie. Last time I checked, the movie was rated PG. Or something like that. Make the figure. Make the figure. Again, there's no problem with the figure because Disney hasn't removed this from the footage. There were some false rumors that was happening, but Disney quickly squashed that. There's no problem with this. There's no problem that Carrie Fisher was dressed like this. There's no problem with this scene. The problem is with the term Slave Leia. Let's go ahead and bury that term. And she was Jabba the Hutt's prisoner. And let's go ahead and dub it what it is. Now, would this be a first time for Hot Toys, I guess? Yes, it would. But there's a first time for everything. Is Hot Toys going to get bigger? Is Hot Toys looking to expand their line in Star Wars? Is Hot Toys going to be in a position where they're like, we have a Star Wars license and we have this relationship with Walt Disney, the company, but we don't agree with this outfit that Carrie Fisher wore, so we're not going to go ahead and make this figure because we don't agree with it? No. They're going to make it. If they're allowed to make it. In my view. Now, does it seem far-fetched? Does it seem unlikely? Yeah. But never? I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this could happen. What is my honest opinion if this could happen? I'm going to be honest with you. I would say honestly, from a business perspective, about 25% chance it'll happen, about 75% it's not going to happen. But why do I give it 25%, which is a low percentage? If you were to tell somebody, hey, you got a 25% chance of, making it to the moon, you're going to be like, crap, that's not a whole lot. I'm not going to make it to the moon. So 25% is pretty low. You tell somebody, okay, 75% chance you're going to make it on this rocket, you start to feel a little bit better. But I'm saying 75% chance you're not going to get it. But why 25% chance that you will? Number one, because Disney doesn't have a problem that you wear the outfit, number one. Number two, they're not eliminating it from it. Number three, I believe the problem is with the term slave Leia, which you could take off the labels. Okay? So we got that all out of the way. Now we got the fourth problem. Hot Toys not wanting to make a character that was in a scene that was in a swimsuit. It's not like we were in a swimsuit like we're watching Baywatch here. Okay, we're not trying to... it's just a part of that scene. And while it may be new and uncharted waters for Hot Toys, as you're a business and you're trying to grow, I absolutely see an opportunity where this could happen. Even if it's just an exclusive. Even if it's just a short run. And certainly with the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi forthcoming, and in a time when the market is slow, in the time where the economy stinks, in a time where all of these companies are looking for attention, how many channels would lose their stuff? Pause. How many channels would go insane if they officially announced this figure? Think about it. Is there any more brilliant form of marketing than this? We talk about Captain Rex breaking the internet. We talk about how Ahsoka from the Clone Wars broke the internet. We're talking about how the Mando Luke and the DX-25 broke the internet. We speak about how Mace Windu is going to break the internet. Right? We do. We speak about how anything Hoth, Todd would break the internet. True. Could you even imagine? You can multiply it by quadruple on how much this would break the internet. And how much attention would be given to this. And no company is beyond something as classic as this move. Let's bring a lot of attention to Disney. Bring a lot of attention to Hot Toys. A lot of attention to collecting. A lot of attention to something that really was nothing. Brings a lot of attention. With attention is marketing. And really with something that's not really an issue. Especially if you don't call her Slave Leia. Because if there really was a big issue, you go ahead and you take her out of the Return of the Jedi. Why is that taken out of the Return of the Jedi? Because it's not an issue. If it was an issue, all the Baywatches would be off the air. You wouldn't be able to watch Baywatch. You sure as heck wouldn't be able to watch wrestling. They're all in something like this. There's no issue. And Hot Toys, whenever you say they can't do something, whenever I say they can't do something, when they go ahead and do the impossible, when they go ahead and announce the unexpected, even when they tease the unexpected, it creates a lot of attention. A lot of hoopla. Look at the N1 Starfighter. The figure has not been officially announced. Yet we're still talking about it. Every channel talks about it. And that's just the Starfighter. It's not even a damn figure. Can you even imagine this thing? Very likely, no. 75% it won't happen. 25% chance? I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility. When you look at the Gina Carano situation, that's pretty much out of the realm of probability. That's just realistic. However, if Favreau and Filoni are able to bring her back in a cameo, and they're able to come to an agreement just to come back in and kill off the character or write off the character, then we're going to have a different conversation about coming out with something with her. But right now, no. But Jabba's prisoner Leia, just because she has a bikini on and because Hot Toys hasn't done a figure like that yet, there was a time where America wasn't discovered. There's always time to go ahead and march across uncharted territory. That's all that I'm saying. Please go ahead and smash that like button if you enjoyed the channel and enjoyed this show. And please go ahead and subscribe. I so very much appreciate your support. And remember, as I go ahead and show 6-scale Cantina, of course, not before I go ahead and show that awesome shot from Return of the Jedi with 3PO, Jabba, oh my goodness gracious, and Bib Fortuna and Leia and Salacious Crumb. Come on, baby. Don't forget at 6-scale Cantina, if you go to the channel, you can get a little bit of a sneak peek as to what you can get. If you like what you heard here today, you may want to consider becoming a member of the channel. You could just go to YouTube, click on the little join button, see everything that it comes with. If you think you could benefit from it and you want to have some fun with some extra shows, you may want to consider joining. It's not very expensive, and I only have one tier. But you could go here, and everything in yellow gives you a little bit of a... Look at this latest one I have up here. Right below my video here on the screen, you can see here Luke 40th crazy fracking unboxings. Luke 40th, and I pull out my DX07, both figures. And I pull out my deluxe Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. And I pull out my A New Hope Luke Skywalker. And we go to town going ahead and talking about which Luke is the best Luke. And I give you some split screen and picture-in-picture views. Absolutely wonderful. If you want to get a little bit of a sneak peek as to what those split screens are like, just scroll down. I actually have a this 1/4 scale Grogu unboxing. You could go right to 6-scale Cantina and highlight it. It is a up for public. It's the only one I have up publicly, but it's a sneak peek as to what you would get as an insider. You could watch that. I've had people reach out to me say that they bought this 1/4 scale Grogu just because of this crazy unboxing and my split screen views. Of course, you can see everything else in yellow over here. I do all kinds of expanded thoughts and heightened analysis. Again, if you choose to join, I do so very much appreciate your support. Also, follow me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. I got the social media within the video description below. Remember, I don't always buy coffee out. But when I do, I buy from 6-scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.